welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Hump day. Hope you guys have had a great week so far. I just realized those topics are a little lower than I wanted them to be, but yeah, they should probably be like right a little higher. See where my finger is? Slobbering Hog's way too low. I'll have to fix that later, or just don't even care. Not even going to bother with it. It is what it is. At least you can see the topics. Hey, so we gave away our Patreon cards for the month of September. I won't give away their addresses, but I got 2 ready here to be shipped out. I'm waiting on some more addresses, but right now I got James Swope and Mr. Hogpat in our Discord. Their cards are ready to be shipped out. Also with a little something else inside those envelopes as well. We're waiting on Trey Carter, who won the autographed DJ Williams card, Mark Dodson, who won the foil Ryan Mallett card, and then J.W. Naylor. I think I'm pronouncing it. J.W. Naylor. I think that's yeah. So anyways, that's who we're waiting on. Check your Patreon DMs. If you're in Discord, feel free to hit me up as well. All right, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Plenty to talk about. Plenty to discuss. Shout out to Arkansas Sports Network. We are also available over there on their Facebook page. If you guys haven't already, feel free to go over there and like and follow them. And for those of you over there on ASN, come over to Tusk Talk with Ty and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping if we have just YouTube snuck some ads in on me. Let me pause. Let me delay the ads there for you. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that because it refreshes like every 10 minutes. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get an interview in this week. If not, this could be the last live show until either we get breaking news or until sometime next week. So, just make sure you hit the notification button. And again, make sure you're a subscriber. We have a poll available. Arkansas ceiling is, and then make your decision, and then tell me why in chat it is what it is. Currently, 9, of course it is, 9 and higher is leading at 41%. 8, which I think is a little more reasonable, is at 24%. 7+ wins, which is currently the second highest at 31%. I think that's, listen, 9 is there for a reason. Not totally shocked that it's leading, but we'll see if it stays there. So, yeah, take the poll. Tell me why you think that Arkansas is going to get to that total. Tell me why you think they're going to get there. Garrett Lampkins, oh, boy. My guy, Ty. I'm going to join your call in show one of these days. So you're going to call in. So the next time we have a guest on, we'll probably do call-ins. I think that's going to be a goal that I have. Anytime we have a guest on, we're going to have call-ins. But I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you, Garrett. That's awesome. Consider joining Patreon, by the way. Yeah, if you're a Patreon member, right, so here's some of the cards I haven't packed up yet. There's the legendary former Arkansas player. You know him, DJ Williams, right? There's the foil Ryan Mallett. These are cards that are already claimed. Trey Carter, he's got that DJ Williams card. Mark Dodson's got the Ryan Mallett card. And J.W. Naylor, I think I got that right, is going to get the Lloyd Phillips card. So, again, I'm just waiting on their addresses. But these are what we do every month. You get extra information in Discord. You get full access to the Tusk Talk with Ty Discord. And you get your name basically thrown into a I don't know. I mean, it's a wheel is what we do. We do the wheel. Trying to get my stuff set up here. All right. We got a lot to discuss. Some really some good news here. We got it's a mixed bag. I was asked on in my comment section from Monday. No, it was the post-game show, I believe. I told you guys my ceiling, and of course we've got the poll. I have my ceiling at 7 wins. That could change. It changes week to week. I mean, that's just where I'm at currently is 7 wins. I'm still there. I'm still at 7 wins. Don't let me impede on your whatever it is you're going to pick, okay? You go with whatever your heart desires on total wins. I'm at 7, and we're going to go over that at the tail end of the show as to why I'm at 7 total wins. The Sarge, who took the poll, he says 7 because we will come back down to earth and have that game or two where we trip over our own feet. Okay, Cade says, I think this team could win 10 games, but turnovers might be our Achilles heel. Yeah. 9 wins or more, because if we could beat Tennessee, we could beat anyone, says Curtis Johnson. That's not a bad argument. That's really not a bad argument. Listen, that's fair, because I do think Tennessee, until they show me otherwise, and maybe Arkansas's the tip of the iceberg for them, I do think Tennessee is probably a playoff contender. Now, their fans right now they're already over it. I say over it. I mean, some of them are already jumping off ship, man. They're done. Ty, some fishy stuff with the $500,000 donation and a matching $500,000 for the Slobbering Hog. Explain, please. Well, I mean, Hoyt, I don't know. I know that there was a date that was set that they were supposed to match that number by Monday. That's all I know. And they waited until today. I don't know, man. I mean, you'd have to ask. That's a question for the University of Arkansas. That's a question for Hunter Yurchek. I don't know why the delay. If that's what you're talking about, Brady Lewis has hit that like button. That's right. Hit the like button. Yeah, we are live on a Wednesday. I'm getting questions in Discord. All right, let's get to it then. Slobbering Hog, we'll start there since it's already topic number 1. It's been 15 years, but the most gorgeous logo to ever be slapped on a basketball court is finally back inside Bud Walton Arena. Last time we saw it was 2008. The Hogs have seen the logo show back up in merchandise, jerseys, of course, fan-made art all over Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram, certain hog corners of the internet. But now it's back on the floor inside Bud Walton Arena. I couldn't be more stoked. Thank God. I knew he was trolling. Maybe that's what Hoyt's talking about. There was some trolling with the forward-facing hog. Oh, had they done that? They know. Listen, he did that for a reason. You know what? This just further bolsters my claim that they're trying to walk away from the forward-facing hog. Why did he do that? Why did Hunter Yurchek post that image? He knows fans hate it. He knows it looks like something Disney drew up in 1994. It's the circle of life. Name the movie, right? That's what I see. I can't get that image out of my head. That's what it is. He knows that fans don't like it, and I kind of that to me is just further that's all the evidence I need. We're not seeing it on new jerseys or on new whatever, whether it's women's sports, men's sports. We're not seeing the forward-facing hog presented as much. It's not that it's completely gone. I will write a firm complaint to EA. I will mail them. I'll send them letters, and emails. I will tell them, leave that nasty, gross ass hog off your game. It's disgusting, guys. The forward-facing hog sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. I know some of you, every time I bring this up, I get either people tweeting at me or DMs or Discord comments. Oh, I got this tattoo, Ty, and you're showing me your forward-facing hog. I get it. We all make mistakes. I try to make sure they're not permanent and on my skin where everybody could see it. Oh, anyways, we're talking about the better logo. We're talking about the Slobbering Hog. It's back. Yurchek did post on October 2nd that the university's collective, Arkansas Edge, received a matching donation of up to $500,000, and then if fans raised an additional $500,000, the Slobbering Hogs would be center logo of Nolan Richardson Court in 2024 and 2025. Yeah, and there was some. I said this when we first learned about it. I said it right here. They've already got them, like they're already ripping the floor up, or they're already making the changes. This was already a done deal. He probably should have done this like a couple months ago. Like if we get a matching whatever, and then you do the ripping up of the floor in October, then you showcase like here it is, it's paid off. I really hope, if this is one of the added benefits of bringing Cal here, I'm all for it. I love that damn logo. It just takes me back, man. Takes me back to the good old days. What's wrong with that? Ty, you have a forward-facing hog as your logo, and it's better, isn't it? I love it when people bring that up. It's better. That was the point. That's why I wanted a forward-facing hog, Farrell Hogman. Yeah, thank you. He knows he does. Thank you. I know, fully aware. I did it on purpose. It was all part of the plan, my friend. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, please. Kerper says Ty's logo is better. Thank you. That was the whole point. You want to do a forward-facing hog, that's how you do it. In fact, my original hog, what I had drawn out on paper, was far more menacing. It was evil-looking as hell. It looked pretty awesome, but then, talking with some people, they said, well, maybe you want it to be a little more like friendly, not as, I had it one, and I'm not a very good artist, but like I had one with like blood dripping off the tusk. I mean, it was going to be badass. The fifth, the forward-facing hog that Josh did. Yeah. It was better. I agree with Curtis. Sweater hog is our best logo. Well, okay, listen, if we're talking about, when the Slobbering Hog was introduced, I don't know that it was on, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know that it was ever on merchandise. I'm talking about on the floor. You guys are talking about, like, merchandise-friendly logos. Yeah, the Sweater Hog is badass. Guys, I like every one of them. In fact, I like some of the OG Razorbacks. But the forward-facing hog is an abomination, all right? That's all I'll say. I didn't say it wasn't better. No, I know you didn't, but others have. Others have, tried to throw that at me like maybe you're a closeted fan after all, and I'm not. I hate that. I hate that logo. You just got in. Well, I've got it paused. I mean, I'm sorry if you guys are getting, again, YouTube snuck that in. I must have, and see, you can't go back and take it out. I can't do anything. I can't go back and like turn off. So I'll just have to monitor. I've got a little timer on the top right that tells me how long the ads are paused for, and if I take my eye off of it for too long. Let's scroll up. I wonder what happens if Sam Pittman keeps his job but Travis Williams leaves, says Garrett Lampkins. Well, one thing at a time, right? Hey, we got some transfer portal news. I don't know if you guys saw this. I know Discord saw it. I got shamed for posting it in the main chat. It was posted in Patreon chat. I apologize. Listen, if you're posting it in other chat rooms, that's fine. If it gets reposted in another room, guys, who gives a shit? It wasn't posted in main chat. So I'm posting it in main chat. That wasn't something I felt like needed to be behind Patreon, behind a paywall. I thought that was okay to be in main chat. So please, Mike, Eagle, don't crucify me, sir. The NCAA Division I committee voted Tuesday to shorten the college football and basketball transfer portal window. The decision. Oh, I know you're just messing with me, Mike. I'm just new boot goofing. The decision takes the effect this cycle and impacts the upcoming winter window. Over the last 2 years, the transfer portal has moved from 60 days to 45, now to 30 days. In basketball, this is from, by the way, this is from On3. I like their coverage. I like how much they're willing to give you for free with no paywall. The portal will open after the second round of the NCAA tournament and will conclude before the end of April. Athletes would still be given a 30-day window to transfer after a coach's departure. See, I don't know that I even like that. Like, how often does that happen in the NBA? And don't go telling me like, oh, well, this isn't the NBA. Bro, we're headed there. We're headed into the NFL and the NBA. If hockey was a thing in the Southeastern Conference, then guess what? It'd be a thing everywhere, and we would probably be as close to NHL rules by now as humanly possible. I know we have the club, right? But I mean officially NCAA sanctioned and licensed teams and whatnot. We would be as close to NHL rules as humanly possible. Like, I don't like, oh, your coach left, you get to do whatever you want now. No, the hell of that. No. I want contracts here now. Guys, I want them here. I'm all for, like, I am skeptical. I have been skeptical of some of the NIL stuff. We've talked about it. I've also been a fan. I've been a supporter of, I should say, of paying the players. Get them under contracts, and then this way the portal just it's a non-issue. Because you could sign a player to a short-term deal, then they can't hop in the portal. Oh no, your coach left. Now you can just do whatever the hell you want. Nope, that's gone. With a contract, who gives a shit? You're here. Period. If assuming they're going to find a way to mess this up, even if they do contracts. In college football, athletes will have a 20-day window in the winter and 10 days in the spring. For the current year, those dates will be December 9th to December 28th and April 16th to the 25th. In all sports, an additional 30-day notification of transfer window will continue to open for student athletes the day after the departure of their head coach is announced. The spring transfer portal, the Division I Council decided not to eliminate the spring transfer portal for this calendar year. This option is not off the table for the future, though. It should be. Get rid of it. More than 2,800 FBS scholarship players entered their names into the NCAA transfer database during the 23-24 school year. Removing those who withdrew or went pro, the final total was over 2,700 total transfers. That means roughly 25% of all FBS scholarship players hit free agency in a single year. This is insane. Weren't they projecting this year over 3,000? Like, this is insane. You cannot. And it's the NCAA or college athletics has also kind of killed off the other part that made college athletics so fun for fans, which was what? I mean, there's also, building of a program. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. You can build a program now in a single off season, thanks to the portal, especially in baseball and basketball. But what's the other thing that fans, I mean, the whole point of why I started doing what I was doing was to follow this one particular, well, not just this one category of college athletics, but it was a major part of why I started doing what I was doing. Recruiting. Nobody really gives a shit like they used to. Nobody cares anymore. Like, not like you used to. Oh, my God. Like, we used to have, when we first started this Discord, I started up rooms that just followed Arkansas recruiting, and I would put, their targets down and who they are and who else has offered them and put their whole profile up. Now, no one cares because we all know why. Unless you're in denial about it, you don't know that kid's going to stick around long enough to even be developed at the school that he committed and signed with. Nobody knows. Oh, cool. He committed. Hopefully he'll stay for more than a year. And especially under Pittman, we've seen some mass exoduses. Hopefully they continue to get that under control. It's not all on Sam, right? There's so many factors that that go into all this, thanks to NIL and the portal. Everything behind the paywall. No, there's quite a bit that's open. But there's also the good stuff, the juicy stuff is what's paywalled. Or are you talking about On3? Yeah, some of these sites just love to put everything behind paywalls. Ty, couldn't agree more. We need contracts, stop all the player movement. It's the only way. It's the only answer. You can't do any long-term 5-year, 6-year deals. Hell, you probably won't even be able to do 4-year deals. But 2 to 3 year short deals, with you can't leave just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You can't leave. And I can tell you, I've heard some stories over the last several years of things that have happened that I'm always sworn to secrecy on, but I can tell you there's some shit that's just like, you got to be kidding me. It's only a matter of time before we get actual holdouts, before we get people that are like, nah, I'm not going to practice this spring. I'm not going to do it until my NIL deal is renegotiated. You got to put a stop to this, guys. And I think the short-term contracts are the answer. Oh, we have a comment on Facebook. Need to have NIL bidding wars to change the logo back and forth. Brandon Cogburn says that over on Facebook, on ASN Facebook. Again, we've got the poll up. Arkansas ceiling is 6, 7, 8, or 9 or higher. And I want you to tell me why in chat. Right now, 8 is in second place at 34%. 9 or higher is at 37%. I thought 8 would probably take the lead, but right now a lot of you think Arkansas is going to win 9 or more. I'm not seeing enough explanations in chat. I've seen a lot of votes, but not a whole lot of explanations. I said they were. I saw something that said they were heading towards contracts. I think next year, either they're voting or they're implementing something that might be a step towards contracts. Brady Lewis is talking about pro-style rules. I just hope the NCAA changes from halves to quarters in every other basketball league I know of, along with, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I think we'll see them do one-year contracts, 2 at the most. One-year contracts don't do anything, though. That's essentially what they're doing now. I really believe if they do that, that's a mistake. They need to get this into 2 to 3 year short-term deals. And by the way, you should be able to negotiate any kind of deal you want. The NFL, the only cap on a deal. Now, there might be some rule in the NFL that says you cannot sign a player to certain years under a deal. That's beyond I don't know, maybe there is, but you rarely see deals that are held up for more than 4 or 5 years at a time, depending on who that player is. I don't know what the average deal is. No, it can't be a year. If they do 1 year deals, that's stupid. I mean, what are we doing? No, it needs to be 2 to 3 year deals. Heartbroken Hog says you missed mine. All right, bro. All right, calm down. I'm scrolling up. Heartbroken Hog says what we just watched over the weekend was the team playing near its ceiling. They showed us the ceiling is a top 10 team. That's just a fact. Now whether they can play to that level again when they wait. Hold on. Now whether they could play to that level again. Are you missing part of your? I think we're missing the second half of that. I don't know. Is there more? I'm not seeing. Now whether they could play to that level again. Maybe I'm. I don't know. I'm not going to scroll all through that. I don't know where the rest of it is. I think we are capable of winning out, but it's realistic. Probably not. But you asked for ceiling, right? Yeah, and I want an explanation. Matt says the ceiling for me is 9 because I don't think there is a team on that schedule we can't beat. Now, will they do that? We find out on the next episode of Arkansas Football. There you go. That's how you do it. There you go. All right. Hey, let's get into some basketball recruiting here really quick. Unable stream marker added. Okay, there we go. Let's get into it. If you guys haven't heard, Arkansas has made the cut for 5-star center Chris Cenac Jr. He's cut his he had his I think it was he narrowed his list down to like 12 back in August, and now he's narrowed it down to 7. His dad told on3.com. Auburn, Kentucky, Houston, Tennessee, Baylor, LSU, and Arkansas. Arkansas's made the list. Get used to it. If you haven't by now, just get used to it, man. As long as Cal is here, Arkansas's rolling, must put you in this position where you can have really good recruiting classes to set Coach Cal up to have incredible recruiting classes. And just get used to it. Chris Cenac who's 6'10", 230 pounds, according to 247, is the number one center in the country, number one player in the state of Missouri. Yeah, he's just north of us at Link Academy in Branson, Missouri. I guess that's where Link Academy is, right? I know it says his city is Branson, but, these kids hop around. But he is the number one center in the country, top 10 player, regardless, I'm pretty sure, of who's whatever recruiting site you read. This is a big-time player, man. This is a big-time player. Well, I had some more on him. Where did the rest of his notes go? He's considered a really good two-way player, and I can't find the rest of my notes on him. But yeah, he's big, athletic, long, moves well for his size. Considered one of the better two-way players in this class, which is why he's got the 5-star rating. Again, 6'10", 230 pounds. Part of the 2025 class. Oh, okay. So Megan, we're going back to the I'll read that in a minute, Megan. Brody Farrell says, I say 8 because of the depth. And again, talking about the ceiling, that is the poll question. I say 8 because of the depth on defense that this week. Okay, hang on. I say 8 because of the depth on defense that this week could. Okay, Brody, I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. I say 8 because of the depth on defense that this week could give us off. Plus, if a few wide receivers stop the drops, it'll open up a lot of stuff. Okay, all right. I think I get the gist of that. All right. Yeah. That's fair. The drops have absolutely had an impact. We know that Centennia has a drop under his belt. We know that Broden has several. Appreciate that, Brody. Thank you for Brody and Matt and everyone giving us the projections. Again, right now, 36% for 9 or higher is leading on the poll. Appreciate Brandon Cogburn on Facebook. Make sure you guys over on Facebook like and share. These sneaky ads, and I can't turn them off either. I can only pause them. Broden has like 8, says Jay Bandit. It's a lot. I know. And it depends on what you read and where you read it. I think PFF has him at like 5. We all know it's more. We know it's like, yeah, 8's probably sounds about right. 8 really does sound about right. I mean, you think about, they're drive killers, man. Absolute drive killers. Okay. Big, and I mean big-time injury updates. Pittman talked to the media today on their on the call today. Pittman addressed some of this stuff after. Well, I mean, not addressed. He was asked. I was going to pull up one of his other Sam Pittman on injuries. I was going to pull up another quote that he had. We know that the starting kicker, Kyle Ramsey, is going to miss. Let's see. Hang on. Yeah, Matthew Shipley's going to take over Arkansas football kicking duties after significant injury to Kyle Ramsey. Yeah, this was the SEC Weekly Coaches Teleconference that he spoke to, by the way. So let's go down this list here really quick. Taylen Green, this is the big one. We don't think it's MCL now, Pittman said during the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday. More of a bone bruise, very, very sore on him. Hopefully he'll be back by LSU. It'll kind of be day-to-day right now, but our diagnosis was that there was not any ligament damage. That's huge. That's huge. Now, to be fair, MCL, I don't know. I've heard there's several different, there's several different layers to that injury in terms of how long you can actually miss. That's true for any injury. A bone bruise is better news because that's a little less permanent, right? However, you could still miss some time with this. This is still, bone bruises are a son of a bitch. I know even in the NFL, you'll have guys miss weeks, 2, 3, I don't know what the longest time is to miss on a bone bruise. But when you keep up with those, when you actually pay attention to those, you'll see sometimes they don't mention bone bruise. You have to find it in the comments when they're talking about a certain player. But yeah, bone bruise could keep you out for a little while. Now, we don't know. Like you said, we're going to keep it day to day. This is obviously bigger than the MCL, than what that could have been. MCL, we know, could also be short-term or long-term. Probably at minimum, I think I've read about 2 weeks for an MCL. Again, it just depends on the severity. But the same thing can be said of the bone bruise. Now, I don't have I actually do. I know we have someone that works in the medical field, actually a doctor, has DM'd me once before. A long time ago, we were talking about some injuries, and the guy hit me up, threw some doctor lingo at me. He definitely seemed like he knew what he was talking about, and I looked at his profile. He was a doctor. So maybe if he's watching, he could tell us. Just, I'd love to read his thoughts on what this bone bruise could be. I get it too. Like, this is going to come down to how much pain he feels when he puts pressure on, right? And we don't know, and we could sit here and make all sorts of guesses as to whether or not he'll be ready for LSU. I'm a little less nervous, not to say that I'm not at all, but I'm a little less nervous if Malachi does have to play in his place. I thought Malachi, especially off that check down throw that he made, he showed no hesitancy to run the ball when he knew he needed to. Of course, it helped that Tennessee let him in. Of course they did. But it was from that little tiny sample size that we have of him there, or based on what he's done throughout the year, which is not a lot, you start to feel a little bit better. And again, watching him in spring camp, watching him in fall camp, there was certainly plenty to take away in terms of good and what he can do. He is a scrambler, right? He's like a running back running the ball, runs a little upright at times. But he can do some damage with his feet. And I think he might actually be a little bit quicker on his reads, going from 1, 2 to 3. Now, he's got a different, when you watch him throw the ball, it's a different way of throwing. I don't think he has the deep arm accuracy. I could be wrong here. I don't know, but I don't think he has the deep arm accuracy that he doesn't have the type of arm that Green has. And he doesn't have that same type of escapability, not that he doesn't have any that Green has. Green often does this thing where he spins around in the wrong direction. It's like watching a top. You ever thrown a top down and it's just kind of whizzing around? That's what he does when he comes out of play action, or when he thinks the pressure's about to get to him and the pocket collapses. You see Green do this weird little spin out, and he goes to his left typically, and he's delivered some beautiful deep balls while on the run. Malachi, I don't know that he could do it like that. He's a different quarterback altogether. That should be fairly obvious. He's, 5 inches shorter, right? He's a different type of runner. He can pick up yardage with his feet. I feel a little bit better because he didn't look, after his initial play against Tennessee, he didn't look shook to me at all. Like, he still seemed pretty poised. In the beginning he did, but then as he kept going and got more snaps, he looked more calm. He does tend to hang on to the ball at times a little too long, but you could say that about Green as well. We also got a slight update on Patrick. I say slight. This is actually huge. Patrick Kudos practiced on Tuesday. Kudos has been out with a back injury since the second day of fall camp back in early August. Sophomore Amarian Harris replaced him in the starting lineup. Amarian Harris has been a little shaky. At times he's been good. At other times he's really struggled. Tight ends, Luke Haas feels good, but Washington, they think they're going to get back on practice on Monday. Pittman said, we're certainly hoping they come back. Kudos practiced yesterday, will practice again today. Braxton will be ready by Thursday. So hopefully we can get some of those guys back. Also consider Hudson Clark played a little bit against Tennessee. I think he got a total of 15 snaps, and that was on defense. Or several of those snaps were on defense, I'm pretty sure, of the 15. So you're getting healthy, man. You got to feel a little bit better about that. We got another super chat. It's Garrett again. Our boy Garrett with another. This is his 5th time he's ever super chatted. Our ceiling depends on if Green decides to play like Lamar Jackson or Nick Starkel. There's a name drop we've not heard in a while. Taylen Green runs like a toddler that grabbed something that was that they weren't supposed to. That's pretty fair. I think that's a good observation right there. Let's see, Jay Bandit. We got a little bit of a back and forth here. Let's read what Jay Bandit said. Singleton can lead us to a win against anybody, I feel like. If Petrino can get some plays that work for him through this bye week and have a nice little package that fits his playing style. Jay, I mean, you could say the same thing about Green, though. And we've talked about that, like simplifying the offense, trimming some of the fat. But against Tennessee, I don't know that he really did. In fact, Tennessee managed to contain Green as a runner, and then Green proceeded to shred them up with his arm. That's pretty damn promising, if you ask me. Tennessee is no lightweight on defense. That's promising. Not saying to expect that every week. I'm not saying that. But we at least saw signs of life and not turning the ball over. Still got to trim down on penalties, but still playing the most mistake-free football they've played against a quality opponent all year. And look what they did. They upset the number 4 team in the country. I wish Kyle Ramsey – let's not go there. I wish Kyle Ramsey before Oklahoma State game. Well, I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm not going to go that far. Megan says, don't look back, heartbroken. Look forward. I don't know, but he has 3 possessions before. Yeah, and this is, I mean, I'm not going to get into the who's better argument. I think right now we haven't seen Singleton play a full game, right? We haven't seen Singleton have to deal with the workload that Green's had to deal with, especially when the offensive line was getting him chased every single snap. Again, our poll, Arkansas ceiling is, then tell me why in chat. 9 or higher is at 34. It's now in second at 34%. 8 wins is in first place now at 36%. Please feel free to take the poll. Make sure you like, share, and comment, and tell me why in chat, why you're at where you're at. Jarrett Carrot says 7 wins. It's Arkansas. I'm trying to stay optimistic, but also realistic. We always win a game we shouldn't, and I think that's what happened last week. Okay. All right. Okay. I appreciate the comment. If you're over on Facebook, feel free to tell me over there as well. Make sure you guys on Facebook like the stream over there and share it. I don't know how to go back to – see, this is why I don't – how you just go back to comments on Facebook. There we go. Okay, straightened it out. Arkansas, Jay Bannett says Arkansas is able to win 8 to 9 games if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, especially with our elite defense, says Jay Bannett. Hold on. Let's hold on in the elite defense category. They played really well against Tennessee, and we've got some other things to brag about on their defense, so we'll start in on that right now. Let's talk about what is Arkansas ceiling right now. Ty, what's your ceiling, or why did you pick 7? Why are you staying at 7, and will it go up? I said in the post game after Tennessee, I had bumped my ceiling from 6 to 7. Actually, I think I went to 5. No, 6. Pretty sure it was 6. I don't know, whatever. I bumped it up to 7. That's what counts. Some people feel like that's still too low and that I should, quote unquote, rethink my ceiling. Well, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and the good news is I can change my ceiling with every passing week because that's what we've always done here, right? Let me explain to you why I have them at 7 currently. Let's start off with the negative. And I see some of you guys have already gone in on that. Again, try to be respectful of one another. Remember, rules is rules. If you're in Discord, also apply to YouTube. All right, starting off with the why maybe the ceiling you think might be lower than what it is, and I'll tell you why I'm at 7. We've talked about Green's flaws, and I'll probably bring them up again even when we're talking about the positive. But something worth noting is exactly how careless this guy is with the football. I mean, he is. There's no doubt about it. Putting the ball on the ground as often as he has. PFF has him at like eight times this year he's put the ball on the ground. I don't know if that's right. Sometimes their numbers are just wild, and I don't know how they come to those conclusions. If that's true, holy God above, that's horrific. That's not good, even through 6 games. That's really bad. Coupled with his 5 interceptions, side note, please tuck the ball when you scramble. He doesn't do that. He doesn't. If you watch him run, he runs the way Matt Jones used to, with the ball out. Watch him. Go back and watch Matt Jones runs and watch how he runs with the ball. He didn't always. Sometimes he tucked. Used to drive me crazy back then. And I was in high school. He's also not the only one that's careless with the ball. Jaquindon Jackson has put the ball on the ground a few times as well. Arkansas's turnover margin is one of the lowest in the country and in the back end of the SEC. 91st in the country, where they're currently -2 in the category. They're not getting takeaways, and they're turning the ball over too much. Now, the defense has had their moments, where they're forcing turnovers, where the secondary's, jumping routes. I would say they seem to be a little less aggressive when it comes to jumping routes from what I could tell, but it also helps, or it helps when you're getting constant pass rush, and they're not doing that either. They have lately. They've gotten better, but guys, let's be real, up until the last couple of weeks, they were horrible. One of the worst at getting to the quarterbacks. One of the lowest in quarterback hits. One of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the SEC and TFLs. These numbers were bad. They're starting to get better, and we'll get into that here in a minute. Dropping easy throws. They got to be averaging close to about 3 to 4 drops a game. I mean, it's bad, right? Pass protection has struggled and has been wildly inconsistent this year. And just not playing clean football when you're talking about penalties and turnovers. Kicking game, you already had a big question mark there. Now you're going to have to rely on a backup kicker. Special teams still makes mistakes. They're still getting flags. A little less this year, and we saw some improvement in that category last year. But there's still so much room for improvement, and there's still question marks. We just kind of went over them, and I'm probably leaving something out. That's what's keeping me from getting above 7 at the moment. They just had a really nice win over Tennessee. At night, I think Arkansas, when they play at Fayetteville at night, I think they can go toe-to-toe and beat teams they have no business beating. The problem is that's not going to be every game. You do get LSU at night. You got Texas at 11 a.m. You still have Ole Miss left, and you got to go to Missouri. But those are some of the reasons why I have a hard time getting them above 7 wins. And I think I even said 6-7. But to be fair, I do think they're at the 7. They're at the 7 mark right now. Preseason, I did not have them beating Tennessee. I had them beating A&M, and I also had them beating Oklahoma State, but I did not have them beating Tennessee. Let's talk about the good, though, right? And why there could be room for 7+. This is still after playing some tough, even more talented rosters than what Arkansas has, including the number 4 team in the country. It's been a pretty well-balanced offense. The Hogs ranked 29th in rushing offense, averaging close to 200 yards per game with a very impressive 20 rushing touchdowns just halfway through the season. Arkansas's passing offense, again, talking about how balanced they are on offense. Their passing game, while not scoring a bunch through the air, has shown, even with a quarterback who struggles finding open targets, often throws ahead or above or behind intended targets, is still getting it done from his own 21-yard line through the air, from his own 21-yard line to the opponent's 21-yard line. The passing offense is ranked 25th in the country, averaging 285 yards a game through the air. Defensively, We're seeing the pass rush get better and better week to week. T. Will's ability to game plan has been pretty incredible. Tennessee game, what a performance by the guys on the field, but the game plan was excellent. Arkansas has managed to hold all 3 SEC teams they faced so far below their yard average and their scoring average. Arkansas also has showed why they're capable of not Arkansas also showed what they're capable of when not turning the ball over on offense. So, again, you're helping your defense out with these long drives. That was huge. That opening, 15-play drive? Yeah, you only kicked the field goal, but 15 plays, you ate up all that time? You don't think that took any kind of wind out of the sails of Tennessee when they're waiting to get on offense? Come on, man. When they are mistake-free or limit those mistakes, again, that's penalties too, and that's not turning the ball over. And they're keeping everything in front of them on defense. Guys, they're hard to beat. And I chuckle at the 9 or higher just because it's not surprising. People are riding really high. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility either. I'm not. I'm at 7 again because of the mix of these two things. We haven't seen them consistently play clean football. We've also, what we have seen, if you're going to talk about the bad, what's the one thing we've talked about? Second half adjustments and coming out and playing with a fire lit under your ass. What'd they do in the third quarter against Tennessee? They look like shit on defense. I don't know why. Sometimes they come out the gate slow. Other times they come out the gate really quick to start games. But it seems like, and this has been Pittman's deal for, I think, the last 2 seasons, where they just come out in the third quarter and lay an egg, and it puts so much pressure on the rest of the bottom half of the second half. They just don't always seem to be firing on all, however many cylinders they have, however big this engine is. They just don't always seem to be firing on all those cylinders. And that's what holds me back from jumping into that 8 to 9 win category. I do think they are. Right now, they're 7+. If they could play clean football, limit those mistakes. It's the most obvious thing, right? Even with a somewhat average pass rush, right? If the secondary gets a little bit more aggressive, now you might give up big plays too. That helps, right? When you could create turnovers and opportunities for your offense, get the ball back into the hands of your offense. Some of the best Petrino teams, their defense was bend, don't break. But you know what they did really well? They're pretty damn good at creating obstacles for the opposing offense by picking them off, forcing fumbles, getting the ball back into the hands of the offense. And that's not something they're doing. In fact, they're pretty bad at it. And they were okay at it last year. I don't remember where they ended up in terms of turnovers on defense or takeaways, but it was never something that you were heralded as one of the better defenses in terms of what you could do well. And so far, that's also not the case. They're just not getting takeaways, and that's a big part of some of Petrino's best years. Yeah, Willie Robinson was Willie Robinson, right? But his defenses could get takeaways. They stripped the ball. They could jump routes and pick the ball off, one way or another, get the ball back into the hands of the offense. That's something I want to see in the second half of the season. It is 6 games down now. You're at the halfway point. This bye week, oh my God, chef's kiss, right? You love it. You're feeling pretty damn good. We already talked about the guys that are going to be getting back, it sounds like. That's the other thing to consider. Braxton's not been healthy. Hudson Clark's not been healthy. The tight ends are all kinds of busted up. He said he was using Josh Street as a placement tight end in practice last week. What? What? Thought you were deep at tight end. What the hell's going on? There's still so many questions, right? But I think the depth on the defensive line has proven to be better than I thought. Like, they're doing a pretty good job. To be fair, again, the defense had plenty of time to rest in this game. You dominated for the most part. You did what you wanted on offense, and you ate up the clock. Another good, and I forgot to post this, or I forgot to make it a part of my script, it's the 3rd down and long. That's the good, right? We're bouncing back and forth between the good and the bad, but and that allows, even if you're unsuccessful on that drive getting points, if you're converting on third down, and Arkansas is still one of the top, I think they're top 14 in the country in third down conversions for a while. For the first 4 weeks, they were like number 2 in the country. That allows your defense to just chill, rest, get things right, get your arm wrapped, your ankle attended, pop your toes, right? Clean the earwax out your ear, pick a booger, blow the snot out, get you a swig of Gatorade, spit it out for whatever damn reason. Get your mind right. That's what continuous play from your offense, staying out on the field, can do for your defense. And they're going to have to do that some more. Here's an interesting question. Who was the worst coordinator? Willie Robertson. It was really Willie Rob was Chavis. I think it was just a certain set of circumstances. I don't know that he was ever. Chavis at least made a name for himself, right? Longtime defensive coordinator. Reggie Herring, yeah, and the pink shame jerseys. I remember that. Oh my God. Oh man. Is he not still coaching? I thought I saw his name come up. He's like I thought he was a defensive analyst or something. I hate we have to debate if Mizzou is winnable or not. That is the other portion of this, right? It is your schedule. That is what ultimately dictates what you're going to do, because you still have LSU, who currently is 13th in the country. You got to go to Starkville. That still makes you nervous, even though Mississippi State is well, they're booty cheeks. They're really bad. They're 1-4, 0-2 in conference play. You got Ole Miss left. Still don't know what to make of them just yet, which is so bizarre considering we're halfway through the season. You have Texas. I don't know that I'm buying that they're going to run the SEC. Maybe I'm wrong. Louisiana Tech, and then at Missouri. I don't know that there are, people are talking about there are no more guaranteed losses on the schedule for Arkansas. You could say the same about wins, though. That's the problem, right? Oh, there's no more guaranteed losses. Okay, fair. But there's also no guaranteed wins, maybe outside of 2. And guess where that puts your win total at if that happens? Puts you at 6. Right now, Arkansas is at 50%, according to ESPN, or 49%. LSU gets the edge at 50.5%. So that's predicted a loss. Mississippi State, you're at 71% favored to win that. Ole Miss, last I saw, was really high. Yeah, Ole Miss is at 78%. I don't think it should be that high. I feel like right now that ought to be, 50-50, if I'm being honest. Maybe you give the edge to Ole Miss. Texas is, we know Texas is going to be favored. Yeah, 84%. That shouldn't be that high. Louisiana Tech, you should be in the 80s. Yep, they're 95%. Yeah, Louisiana Tech's bad. And then Missouri, who right now, according again to the matchup predictor, is at 56.6% favored. That'll be one to keep an eye on. What was the shame jerseys? Oh, man, some of you are too young to remember that. You should just go Google it. Google Arkansas pink jerseys. Hell, Rush Limbaugh talked about it on AM radio. Golly, how long ago was that? 2006? When was that? Mississippi State got absolutely embarrassed against Toledo. Yeah, they're garbage. Mississippi State's bad. But, their fans will show up for an SEC game. But, no matter what, you should. That's an automatic win. I would say that in Louisiana Tech. I think we split the other forces, Heartbroken Hog. Mr. Kick says Chavis. Chavis was bad here. If you're talking about just here, it was bad. It was ugly. And I would probably agree. If you're talking about just here, yeah, it's Chavis. God. Oh, man. Yeah, the pink jersey stuff was wild. Shout out to the ASN Facebook, folks. Make sure you guys like and share over there. Connor Smith says that OK State game hurts even more now. If you think about it, had you pulled that out, we would all be talking. I know we'd be talking about playoffs. We would. Your only loss that's like stings is that Oklahoma State loss, because right now A&M looks pretty damn legit. 5-1, 3-0 in conference play. There's only 3 undefeated teams in conference play, and only one of them have played multiple conference games. That's A&M. Texas is 1-0. LSU is 1-0. It's still wild to me. We're at the halfway point in the season, and there's still several teams left in this league, in this conference, where you're like, I don't know yet. I don't know how good or bad they really are. Tennessee, like I think they're a playoff contender. I do. But maybe Arkansas just kind of showed everybody the blueprints as to how to beat Tennessee, how to beat the Vols. Heartbroken Hawk says A&M is probably winning 10-plus games. Mike Elko is the real deal. I said when they hired him, I liked that hire for them. I thought that was a really good hire. See, I took my eye off the ball, and they threw an ad out there. See, I can't take my eye off the ball, damn it. Paul Petrino kind of sucked without Bobby. Well, Paul's philosophy was just throw it. Throw it. Who cares about balance? Pretty sure Wilson threw. I seem to remember him throwing like 45, 50 passes a game. And Bobby did some of that too, but it was way more balanced. LSU shouldn't have beaten South Carolina. The refs blew that one, says Gavin. We're going to donkey punch LSU. They will donkey punch us back. But they are absolutely beatable, says Joe DC. Yeah, I would say that they're beatable. And like I said, I think there are multiple teams left on this schedule that aren't named Louisiana Tech and Mississippi State that are beatable. I think they all are. I think they're all within reach, if that's fair. That doesn't mean that you don't get blown out by somebody. I have a hard time seeing that happen, but never say never. I really thought Tennessee was going to do better on offense, and Arkansas's game plan just overwhelmed them. It was really fun to watch. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, take the poll. Arkansas ceiling is 6, 7, 8, or 9 and higher. We got a battle going on for 9 and 8. Yeah, Jeremiah says Arkansas is 8th in the country on third down conversion percentage, 12th in the country in time of possession. We eat the clock and keep our defense fresh. That's huge. And that's why, I don't know, because of our offense and their ability to stay on the field, I don't know that our defensive line has needed to go deep into their depth, which I've said all along is one of my biggest question marks. Well, here's your way around that. Just keep your offense out on the field. You won't need to worry about that, right? Oh, here's a Vol fan. Fitty says, question, why in the world don't you guys use the kick-ass Black Sabbath? Oh, I know, War Pigs? Bro, that would be dope. Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's a great song. That's a good point. That's an awesome song, man. Black Sabbath, awesome. My kids know when Sabbath comes on the radio or if I've got them on my phone. We play Sabbath in the Hudson car ride on the way to school, along with some Zeppelin, AC/DC, all the good stuff. Because our band loves Hey Jude. Nothing wrong with the Beatles, all right? But still. Landon Jackson was on the field something like 54 of 64 snaps. Yeah, he was on the field a lot. He got to play quite a bit. We kind of went over a lot of the numbers from that game, but you know, there were certainly some guys that I thought stood out pretty well. But the guy that really stood out was Taylen Green, 110%. I thought Taylen Green was I thought he was solid, man. If you look at let's pull up the schedule here, pull up the PFF game-by-game grades. Your passing grade was 91.1. Now, I know we're all skeptical of PFF and their grading system, but the thing that stood out, and again, we talked about this on Monday, Green could have gone 6 for 6 on deep balls. His only 2 incompletions were off drops. He was 4 of 6, putting him at almost 67% for 101 yards. I still think his play action, his completion percentage under play action's got to be better. With a clean pocket, he threw for a season high 86.7%. Under pressure, he completed 50% of his throws. When blitzed, this is very encouraging, almost 73% completion for 102 yards. He threw for 266. We know he missed the latter half of the fourth quarter. I don't know that he throws for 300 or not, but I thought he did a good job, man, managing what Tennessee was throwing at him. Yes, you could say game planning for Bobby also matters. That opening drive was actually pretty huge for the rest of the game if you think about it. Only 2 drop passes, but you only need one to guess who dropped one of them. Bless Broden's heart, man. He looked so good through spring and fall camp. I don't know how many times I've said it. He looked fantastic. You know, and even on contested throws. Razorback 64 says, one thing to remember, this offense will get better week by week with Petrino. Well, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. However, the competition, like we said several weeks back after the Oklahoma State game, the schedule doesn't get any easier. I don't know. I think Tennessee's better than LSU, and we could dive into that next week. LSU's defense has some problems. They've got some issues. We'll see if they get them corrected by the time they play Arkansas. But I don't know. They've got Ole Miss at 6:30. What a game that's going to be. I'm way more excited for that than I am the Red River. And I'm excited for the Red River. First time ever in the SEC. That's going to be great. But this Ole Miss LSU game, guys, we got to watch it. This is one, hell, we might even do, since it's the beginning of a new cycle, hell, we might do XP like we were doing. We did these spins on every time there was a turnover or a touchdown. We did these spins. We had a lot of fun with it. We gave away XP and stuff. Maybe we could have some fun with that and give away an autographed card or something. I don't know. But that's a big game. It's going to show us a little bit about these 2 upcoming opponents for Arkansas. Does 9-3 Arkansas get into the playoffs? Man, my philosophy on that sort of stuff is let's just take it a week at a time. I would say probably not, and it would depend on who that third loss is to. If you mess around and lose to someone you're not supposed to lose to, probably not. And I would say you've got to probably win out to make the playoff. But you know what? We're going to take it a week at a time. This is the first year we've had expanded playoffs. This is the first year. Mr. Kick says bone bruise can last a little bit. It varies. It depends on, I guess, how deep the bruise. I've never known anybody that's ever had one. I don't know anything about it. Zach Winiger says ceiling is the word. 9 wins is the ceiling if defense plays similar as they did on Saturday, and if the offense gets touchdowns versus field goals, it's a good point too. 5 trips to the red zone against Tennessee, and you came away with just 19 points. If offense gets touchdowns versus field goals in the red zone, we could put the hurting on teams. Yeah. Yeah, ceiling is how good can this team be? Essentially, it is your prediction on what you think Arkansas does, right? I mean, essentially, that's kind of what it is. If we beat number 1 Texas and number 4 Tennessee, in the same – I see what you're saying. Yeah. I did promise the girls smoothies. You're right. Sarah. All right. Well, on that note, I better wrap it up. My wife is reminding me that I gotta go make some smoothies. Hey, Sarah, if you're still in here, was dinner good? Was it good? I want to know. Tell me. She probably already dipped out. That's too funny. You guys do me a favor. Make sure you like, share. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Shout out to the ASN folks, Arkansas Sports Network, over on Facebook. Hopefully you guys share the content over there as well. So good. Oh, great. They're good. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Even though she did most of the work on dinner anyways. I'm going to go eat dinner, make some smoothies. I appreciate you guys. If we get an interview lined up, it'll likely be during the day, and it would probably obviously be either Thursday or Friday. I'll try to let you guys know. If not, this may be the last live show we do until next week. I'm going to try and enjoy the bye week a little bit. I'm probably going to be busy one way or another, but I'm going to try and watch plenty of football. Your plate is waiting. Ooh, I can't wait. I'll see you guys. Hopefully, maybe one more time this week. Next week, we're working on, I think Courtney Mims will be available next week, so we'll try and bring her on. All right, that's it. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Check out their link. It is provided for you down below. All right, I'll see you guys when I see you.